If we want to have a baby, you're going to have to prove you're a person in a court of law.
They said I'm property.
Well, like garbage or a piece of shit?
And maybe more like a hammer or an orange.
It's just a word.
Better ask my ancestors. 1 minute, you in Africa. You in the river washing your clothes, titties just hanging. Next thing you know, you getting fucked by Thomas Jefferson.
Wow, you make history come alive.
Martin, don't look so down, man.
It's not down.
It's Ted. You feel bad for Ted? You feeling bad for Ted? You know, because people...
No, I feel bad for me.
Oh, Martin, don't be like that. You know, all Ted is trying to do, as you can see, people, he's out there trying to have a baby. People don't want to recognize that he's actually a living thing with rights. I mean, he pays his taxes, Martin. He's got a job.
He doesn't pay his taxes.
How do you know that?
They brought that up.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, well, fuck them then. So, you would think that a bear that's come to life, a toy bear, would be a wondrous thing, but really people don't give a fuck about Ted.
No.
And I could say that for the first movie. Everybody liked Ted. I didn't really care for Ted that much.
Fuck Ted.
You know, the first movie, I was just kind of like, whatever, man. And, you know, and I should have liked that movie. Maybe my expectations were a little high. Because I remember, you know, I'm that age where when I was a kid, do you remember Teddy Ruxpin?
Sure.
When Teddy Ruxpin came out?
Yeah.
Teddy Ruxpin was a toy, and you put a cassette in him, and he would say all these really nice things, you know, friendship is cool, you know.
Read you stories.
He
he read you stories.
Yeah,
he was confident. He was your friend.
Yeah, he was your friend. You know, he talked to you. They had different. You know, your generation had it too, except you had the Bluetooth. You had the Bluetooth Teddy Ruxpin right there. But it was a wondrous device when it came out.
There's nothing in the world like a good friend.
You can say that again. Oh, Teddy Ruxpin is my friend.
And Grubby's my friend too.
Okay, fuck all that. You know, I was like, I wanted that raw Teddy Ruxpin, you know?
Uh-huh.
I was the one that would try to put in nasty shit into Teddy Ruxpin and have him say all kind of bad things, you know? So Ted was...
Put a 2 Live Crew cassette in him.
Put a 2 Live Crew or something, you know? Like, I want that commercial that showed Teddy Ruxpin being hard.
Another teddy bear? My teddy's name is Teddy Ruxpin. He talks, he tells stories.
Fuck this. God damn, man.
I love that kid.
That kid, every time, that kid's like, man, every time you fucking come in here, man, you bringing some bullshit. Why don't you bring something cool, man? And then also that kid's like, damn, I'm high as fuck right now.
He looks like Matthew.
He looks like Matthew sitting back there. I think, Matthew, that was you when you were a kid, right? Yeah, oh man, that bear's fucking talking, dude. but you know, I was like, man, I want that hard Teddy Ruxpin.
4 bachelors not included.
Like, oh shit!
The young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown.
Like, oh, all right, shit, I hear what you're saying.
I have the authority to kill a minority.
Yeah, I got your attention now, motherfuckers, don't I? You know what I like? I like how in all the class, the black girl's the one who's really relating to Teddy Ruxpin. She's like, yeah, Teddy, yeah.
Kill them all.
Yeah, that kid's like, damn, I want to be a cop.
Not more.
What's that noise coming out of that fucking bear, man? I should have liked Ted because of my dreams coming true, but I didn't really do that, man. I thought it was just you know, a long Family Guy episode. Family Guy works when it's short, and I got to give it to them. You know, I appreciate what they're trying to do here, where, you know, they're trying to expand on the character. They're trying to avoid doing that whole thing of just a typical sequel. And I like the way they show some true emotion in there with, and that's what I have to say about this. There were moments where Ted was having real emotional moments with his real human co-stars. Mm-hmm. Like you have this girl Jessica Barth who plays Tammy Lynn, the girl that he met at the grocery store. In this movie, he ends up marrying her. Of course, marriages go south after a few months or so.
A year.
A year, yeah. And just right after a year, they're arguing and shit. And Ted is like, you know what, man? Maybe we should have a kid. Maybe that'll bring our marriage back together. Give us something to love and share.
Tammy, listen. I love you. Okay? And I don't want us to fight like we've been doing the past few months.
I don't know, Teddy. I mean, something's got to change, because I can't do this no more. It's too much.
I know. And that's why I want to have a baby.
You do?
Yeah.
A baby? Like, really?
Yeah. See, I think if we got a kid to love, it'll teach us how to love each other again.
Oh my God, Teddy. You better not be messing with me.
I swear to God, not messing with you. I think you'd make an awesome mom.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I would like kick so much ass at Marmon.
So what do you say? We all good?
Yes! Oh, I love you. I love you so much.
Oh, baby, I love you too.
That bear must have a hell of a tongue, man. They've been married for a year, and the fact he ain't got a dick ain't came up at all. Up until this point when they want to have a baby.
Oh, wait, how are we going to do this?
Here's the thing, man. I'm going to go ahead and jump into like the real problem with this film is that, like I said, I like Family Guy.
Yeah.
I like Family Guy a lot. But Family Guy is 30 minutes long.
Yeah, sure. The 22 minutes without commercials.
Without commercials.
Right.
There you go. Not even full 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The problem with this film right here is that it's not an hour and a half. It's 2 hours long.
Is it really?
Yeah, 2 fucking hours, man.
Shit.
2 fucking hours
I think the first one was that long, was it?
2 hours of Ted. I mean, and the novelty of this whole thing of this bear, this little cute bear that's talking nasty and doing nasty things and marrying a hot Boston chick. That's gotten kind of old right now.
I feel like this shit was supposed to be one of his like animated shows, and he was like, "Hey, maybe I should make this into a movie."
And
it has that feel. Doesn't
well,
it?
when he's writing for a 30-minute format, it goes quick.
Right.
The editing is quick. The jokes go in and out, and it's over and done before you can even criticize it.
Yeah.
It's out the room. Now, when you see a movie that's 2 hours long of Seth MacFarlane humor, his weaknesses really begin to show right there. Seth MacFarlane, as much as I like him, he's that guy that you knew in school who he was either a smartass, might even have been a bully, but he was really smart. But it was always doing dumb shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was that smart guy who was always doing some dumb shit. And even when he was at his dumbest, there was something clever about him. He made a teacher laugh every now and then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you were with him too long, you were like, wow, this shit is getting old, man. It was like, hey, you're not funny, man. You're just fucking childish. And he even knew it. He would rub it in your face. He's like, yeah, isn't this funny? Because, hey, I'm a smart guy doing dumb shit. The irony. Get it?
I'm a really smart guy telling dick jokes.
Yeah.
How funny is that?
Exactly. Hey, look, I'm talking about semen and shit, and it's like, hey, man, I for a short period of time, that's okay.
More from you.
Yeah. Now, when and that's his whole shtick right now is that this is just it's just not enough here to sustain a fucking not even really an hour and a half when you get right down to it. This right here is exactly what I'm talking about. You have Seth MacFarlane, the guy who brought Cosmos back. It's the guy who.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a guy it's a very liberal guy too, very open-minded. But that's his thing. It's like, hey, I'm so smart, but look at me. I'm gonna do a fucking dick joke right now. Hey, I'm a very liberal guy, but isn't it funny how I can make black and gay jokes and make them offensive? I can get away with it because I'm really open-minded. And it's like, nah, man, I'm not even offended. I would actually you would be achieving something if I was offended. It's just weak. It's just, you're taking easy shots at things. And it all comes down to like, all right, just because I have a message behind it, which I'll get into in a little bit, just because I have a message behind it, it all comes back to being smart again. No, it's still dumb shit. So I didn't like the first one, and this one didn't do anything. It actually seemed like it was better than that.
Okay, so maybe you and I differ on a few things. Like one, I kind of like the first one. I liked it mostly. At least I liked the first hour of it a lot. I thought that whole idea of pulling off the talking teddy bear could go south. And I was like, hey, he's making it work. This is funny. You really feel the relationship between him and Mark Wahlberg, and the jokes are mostly hitting until they got into the Flash Gordon stuff. But still, for the most part, I like Ted 1. And I'm one of the people who says like, hey man, I still don't watch as much as I used to, but I think Family Guy is still funny. You have some, it's hit or miss, but they still have a big hit ratio, I think. Yeah. People just get tired of it and they go like, oh, the show sucks now. And this, I think, is not like Family Guy so much as it is like animation domination. It's like a lot of Seth MacFarlane reject stuff.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Like not even like it's stuff like in the writing room for the Cleveland show. Yeah. It's that stuff that they threw in the trash and didn't use.
That's horrible.
Because what happens is it's like what you see in the trailer is a plot.
Yeah.
Where it goes. What you watch is not that. if that plot shows up every 10 minutes, in between, it's just a bunch of random gags that don't pay off. It's a lot of setups for a gag that's so incredibly short and not that funny. You're like, why'd you even bother with all that?
This movie it eventually ends up being about, like I said, it's about Ted's rights.
Yeah.
Be recognized as a living thing, and he can marry, vote, all that kind of shit. But they got about 3 long ass setups before that. That shit that you saw with him and his wife, or they want to have a baby.
Yeah.
That's one of the setups to what eventually will be the whole movie. And that's one of the things that makes the movie unnecessarily long.
Oh.
And
it is one of these things where, okay, so there's a point in the movie where, like, so much of it is padding. And I was like, dang, man, they are padding it out to reach this hour and a half. And I checked my watch, and it had only been about 45 minutes. And I was like, well, okay, this is going to wrap up soon. But then it went on to 2 hours. I was like, why? What was the point of that?
And here's the other thing.
Yeah.
See, like I said, Ted didn't really charm me before. But so what? I'm in the minority there. People like, and I ain't hating on people for that.
Yeah.
But people are starting to see Ted for the asshole that he is. Because Ted is like, Ted is like the people in the world of this movie.
Yeah.
The novelty's worn off.
It really has.
It's gotten to the point now where Ted he's not charming anymore. He's just a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Take that, motherfucker! Hey, that's what you get for fucking exercising.
I'm like, fuck you. You don't deserve your rights, man.
Which is why what I love is when they finally go to Morgan Freeman for help.
Yeah.
He pretty much lays it out like that.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman like, hey, man, what the fuck have you done with your life?
Yeah.
He's like, Ted, you come up to me for help. Really, what the fuck have you done? I was like, you're a bear who magically came to life. You could be doing so much, and what do? You smoke weed all day with fucking Mark Wahlberg, and now you want your rights?
For drugs? Yeah, you got nothing.
You haven't done a goddamn thing. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, in the words of Morgan Freeman, fuck you. It's like, who gives a fuck about you? I didn't care if Ted got his rights or not, and that's a big problem with the film because that's your central character.
Right. Ultimately, there's no feeling of who cares if they win? Because you're on a journey. It turns into a road trip at some point. Yeah. They end up on a farm with a whole bunch of gags that don't lead to anything. It's a lot of stuff that goes nowhere, and the gags are just not that funny. Actually, there's one funny gag with Liam Neeson. It's completely random. It could have been in any movie anywhere.
Yeah, that shit didn't go anywhere, but it was funny.
Yeah. And what I was told, because you and I missed like the end and the after credits, is that they do a callback to it. That's when it was told to me tonight. I was like, "Wow, that is the best joke of this entire movie."
Yeah,
but everything else is on such a level. Like, can we just wrap this up so I can go home?
Now, I will say that there are so many jokes in this.
Yeah.
I mean, they're coming so fast, so rapid fire that something's gonna be funny. Like that Liam Neeson joke right there. There's a joke in here about Amanda Seyfried's eyes being like Gollum. That I laughed out loud, man.
Sure. Yeah. And did you laugh so much when they went back to it 2 more times?
And see, that's again, this movie's so long that there are running jokes that are predictable. Like they run into predictability because you've seen them once, you know it's gonna come up again because they take so long for the setup. So what the fuck? Is that us?
There's an acting school out there.
Oh, yeah, they're so nervous right now.
Yeah, sorry. Acting school around the corner.
I like how like got a jet.
Like she wanted to run, but she was like, the danger's out there. Like she was ready to fight too. She was like, shit, am I gonna have to fucking defend myself right now? I just take for granted that people just know that the acting class is over there.
Right.
People for those who are
listening,
funny
when they don't.
Yeah, for those who are listening, somebody in the acting class was like, and they were like, shit, is somebody being murdered in there? And they're like, I knew this was a setup. Is that a fucking puddle on the ground?
Oh, come on now.
And I like the way the toughest girl was the one that was the most scared. She was like, fuck, see you, baby, fuck you, I'm gone.
Run, baby, I'll pick you up later.
Your eyes got about as big as Amanda Seyfried's. What the fuck is that? We should do that more often, just not tell people what's going on over there.
Right.
But yes, where was I? Yes, Amanda Seyfried. She has a funny joke. And look, there's a lot of funny stuff in there not a lot, but there's funny things that come in between. And one of the things that I really admire about the movie, like I said, man, Ted may be an asshole, but there are moments where Ted and Mark Wahlberg like they got chemistry, man.
Sure.
Like, I mean, for an imaginary CG bear.
They got tons of chemistry. They just don't always have something funny to say. That Law and Order bit, I'm like, there's such a setup for it. I was expecting a good payoff from it.
Man.
It's just there, and it goes, and it has nothing to do with nothing.
Can I tell you, man, I like that. This is some of the best acting Mark Wahlberg has done.
Okay, I'll give you that.
You know what I mean? This fucking bear inspires his ass. I mean, they have, like, they really have chemistry going on. And that was my favorite scenes, that Law and Order thing right there, because I said, you know something? When I watch this, I buy it. I believe it.
Let's all go to court. Hey, you lawyer guys, you don't know me and...
You know, Mark Wahlberg probably gets hot and does that at home with the fucking couch, with the pillow on the couch. You know what I mean? Like that's why I believe this. I'm like, man, this is not acting.
This character is the closest to him.
You do this shit.
Yeah.
And he's at home getting hot talking to furniture.
Well, I bet you don't have a clip of it, but like the scene before when Ted and Tammy are reconciling. But the scene before that, when they were fighting, I was like, hey, this is actually pretty good right here. It's early in the movie. I didn't know that that was where it was going to top out.
No, I don't have that. But like I said, there are scenes in here where like sit up there acting with an imaginary thing that's not even there. They have a lot of quick dialogue that works between them.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a few test questions. Are you ready?
Yep, bring it on.
You're on the stand. The DA says, Ted, do you consider yourself to be human?
Objection sustained.
No, the witness can't object.
Overruled.
Sidebar.
Guilty.
Speculation.
Hearsay.
Bailiff.
Briefcase.
Disregard.
In my chambers.
Stop Beaver on the witness.
Arrest.
We could totally be lawyers.
Bang.
Don't you? And it's funny how I hate to be that way about Mark Wahlberg, but I love the way people have tried to cast him as professors and teachers.
Yeah,
like I said, we didn't even buy him as a high school teacher.
Right.
You know, we barely would buy him being in preschool. You know, them motherfucker he'd be drinking cookies and milk with the kids. You know?
Eating paste.
Eating paste and shit. Hey, pass that glue, bro. You know. Hey, don't bug out all the glue, man. You know, it's a shame how we just are ready to buy him as a dumb guy. You know, because him and Ted are just fucking losers, man.
It's that Boston accent.
Yeah, he plays that shit perfectly. And I would say that they're probably the best things in the film. But, you know, as far as everything else goes, man, this is, like I said, there's a sort of smugness in trying to say, look how dumb I'm trying to be.
Sure.
You know, and it gets even worse when it comes down to, you know, everything is okay because this is a movie and the message is civil rights. You know, Seth MacFarlane actually tried to pull some shit where, hey, you know what? I'm going to have this bear come in and speak for all the minorities that are suffering out there. And
right.
I'm going to tell you right now, shit's too real right now. Okay. I don't need this fucking bear coming in and talking for me. There's a whole lot of shit going on. I don't need a CG bear coming in and trying to represent me or anybody else who's having problems out there.
Yeah. It's kind of like when Adam Sandler made that I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it's full of nothing but homophobic jokes up until the last 10 minutes where it's like, no, we're here to stand up for homosexuals. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, man, with that shit. It's Ted sitting up here trying to speak for me like that's the next Martin Luther King and shit.
Right.
Fuck you. Who the fuck you think you are, man? You got some fucking nerve to have a fucking little nasty mouth bear come out and speak about civil rights. I mean, I'm not mad at the movie, but I'm just like, no, that don't make shit all right.
Right.
You're just another fucking dumb film. And I will close with this. A lot of the things that are set up with the film that they try to make it sound like this is something profound, it just leads to a joke that means nothing. That whole thing about them wanting to have a baby, that leads to a semen joke.
Yeah, it's all leading to a big semen joke.
Yeah, and that's what the movie is. Don't try to get wrapped up in this whole thing about a message about, you know, human rights, civil rights, and all that kind of shit. It's a frat boy movie. It's a 15-year-old type of humor type film. I mean, those are the people that'll get it. Those are the people that'll love it. And I'm sure there'll be others out there, but I don't know. Maybe if this was from some other director that I didn't think was as smart, I had more to say, then I'd be a little more forgiving of it. But as far as it stands right now, I know that Seth MacFarlane can do better. I know his humor is better, and I don't think it's a terrible film, but it's a rental. It's a low rental for me. It's not anything inspired there at all.
Well, if the only movie you ever saw from him was a million Ways to Die in the West, you wouldn't be so sure he could do better. This comes, okay, the only thing that makes this better than A Million Ways to Die in the West is that you're already familiar with these characters. You know, that little bit of chemistry between the characters that you already know.
Yeah, 'cause I was gonna ask, is he like just declining?
Well, I mean,
Seth MacFarlane.
either he's declining or he was lucky before.
Yeah, that was it.
You know, it's hard to put a finger on it. I mean, he's been running for a while 3 successful animated TV series that were all funny, at times, to varying degrees.
Yeah.
But here with his last movie and this one, it's like, yeah, man, it's like he's just out of gas. Or I mean, comedy doesn't age well all the time. You might laugh at some things that you laughed at before, but it's more like you laugh out of tribute, not because it's still funny to you.
Right.
You just remember you liked it. And it could be that now we've reached a point where, like, yeah, your humor, we've mapped it, we got it. But to me, I'm just like, these jokes just aren't funny. They're just a bunch of high school sophomore gags. And it's like, man, if he could have just trimmed the movie, I could have been like, all right, it was painless, but it wasn't. It was not painless. I so want to give this
some old bullshit.
I'm so close.
You laughed a couple of times.
I did. I got chuckles here and there.
Don't hurt Mark Wahlberg right there, man. He's all nervous right now.
He does look sad.
Come on, man, please.
I'll give it the lowest of low rentals.
Yeah, I'm about there. Probably a little bit higher than you. I'm being fair, but yeah, people, I don't know. This fucking bear ain't doing nothing you ain't seen in the last film.
You don't know me and Johnny are watching you while we're high.